November of 2020 and May of 2021, over 200 monoliths around the world just appear.
No matter where you live, bizarre and mind-boggling stuff is discovered on the daily in every part of the world. From the bustling streets of Brazil to the historic corners of the UK to the hidden gems of Taiwan, every place has its own dose of the unexpected. But today, we're setting our sights on the United States, a land full of oddities just waiting to be uncovered. Buckle up, because we're diving into 15 of the strangest discoveries made in the United States. Number 15. Abandoned Fairy Village. Deep in the woods near Waterbury, Connecticut, lies a mysterious miniature village. Known as the Little People's Village, it's a forgotten place that many have passed by without noticing. The tiny houses and stone structures once built with care now lie crumbling and overtaken by nature. Visitors sometimes feel a strange sense of unease as they wander through the forest, surrounded by these eerie ruins. The village has sparked many local legends. One story says a woman from a nearby town went mad, hearing voices of fairies who demanded a village to live in. Her husband built the tiny homes, but the fairies continued to torment them. Another tale tells of a man named William who also heard the voices of elves and built the village for them. After they tormented him, he took his own life. Some even say if you visit during a full moon, you can hear the laughter of the fairies. But the real story of the village is more down to earth. In 1924, William Lannon bought the land to open a gas station. When the new highway bypassed his station, he started building the miniature village, along with a nursery. He made small houses, churches, and even a lighthouse. After his death, the village was abandoned, and nature slowly took over. Now, with new plans for nearby construction, the village may be lost forever. The site remains a haunting, forgotten place, slowly disappearing into the woods. Number 14. Mysterious monoliths. In 2020, mysterious metal monoliths started appearing in remote areas across the world, capturing the public's imagination. The first one was discovered in the Utah desert by biologists who spotted it from a helicopter. The shiny, tall structure was far from any trails or settlements, making it seem like an unexplained anomaly. Its sudden appearance sparked wild speculation that it could be of extraterrestrial origin, perhaps an alien message, especially because of its similarity to the monoliths in 2001, A Space Odyssey, a film where such objects are linked to aliens. Soon after, similar monoliths appeared in places like Romania, California, and the Isle of Wight in the UK. People were fascinated, wondering if there was a deeper, hidden meaning. However, the excitement quickly turned into curiosity about who was behind these strange installations. It was revealed that these monoliths were likely human-made, perhaps a prank or a work of art. One group even claimed responsibility for some of them. The monoliths were typically made from simple materials like metal or plastic and placed in isolated spots, drawing comparisons to other modern art forms. While they might not have been aliens, their unexpected appearances reminded people of how much we crave a mystery. With their eerie presence in the wild, the monoliths made people stop and wonder, if only for a moment, about the unknown and the possibility of something more out there. Number 13. The Doomfish. The mysterious oarfish, often called the doomsday fish, has made its third appearance on California beaches this year. A 9-foot specimen was found washed up on Grandview Beach in Encinitas in November 2024. This follows 2 previous sightings in San Diego and Huntington Beach. Oarfish live in the deep ocean, around 3,000 feet below the surface, in an area where sunlight doesn't reach. They are rarely seen alive and have long, ribbon-like bodies that can grow up to 30 feet. These fish are often linked to myths in Japanese culture. They are believed to be a sign of impending earthquakes or disasters when they appear in shallow waters. This connection gained attention after multiple oarfish were found on Japan's coast just before the 2011 earthquake. However, studies haven't found a direct link between oarfish sightings and earthquakes. In California, oarfish strandings are extremely rare, with only about 20 occurrences in the past century. Researchers think that changes in ocean conditions may be causing more oarfish to wash up. The sightings have given scientists a rare chance to study the oarfish's biology and genetics. Despite their eerie reputation, the oarfish continues to puzzle and fascinate researchers. Number 12. Gold Rush Treasure. In 1988, deep in the cold, dark waters of the Atlantic, a group of treasure hunters made a discovery that would change history forever: the wreck of the SS Central America, a steamship that had sunk in 1857, carrying a fortune in Gold Rush-era treasures. For over 100 years, the ship's riches, gold coins, personal belongings, and priceless artifacts, had been sealed away, perfectly preserved 7,200 feet below the ocean's surface. The moment everyone awaited arrived in December 2022, when more than 300 incredible artifacts from this legendary shipwreck were finally auctioned off in Reno, Nevada. Imagine holding in your hands a Wells Fargo treasure box lid, or a gold nugget stick pin that's been buried for over a century. Picture owning a pair of miner's pants, possibly made by Levi Strauss himself, or even an 1849 Colt pocket pistol from the wreck. And that's just the beginning. There's a chastity belt, pocket watches, books, including a rare copy of The Count of Monte Cristo, and even beer bottles, still full of beer, that survived the wreck. But it's not just the gold that's fascinating. These artifacts provide a rare window into the lives of the people aboard the SS Central America. It had the wealthy first-class passengers, with their fine china and crystal decanters, and the hard-working miners, bringing their belongings and dreams of fortune. It's a mix of refined society and rugged pioneers, preserved in time for over a century. Perhaps the most jaw-dropping discovery? A pair of heavy-duty miner's pants, likely the first ever made by Levi Strauss. Experts believe they could fetch a fortune. The SS Central America was more than just a ship. It was a time capsule, and Bob Evans, the lead scientist behind the recovery, has called it the ultimate snapshot of history. Number 11. The handprints. In Wyoming's Red Desert, the White Mountain petroglyphs offer a glimpse into ancient Native American history. These carvings were made between 200 to 1,000 years ago by tribes like the Shoshone, Arapaho, and Ute. The site features hundreds of petroglyphs etched into soft sandstone cliffs, showing scenes of bison and elk hunts, geometric shapes, and tiny footprints. One of the most striking features of this site is the deep handprints carved into the stone. These prints were made over hundreds of years as people, especially women, pressed their hands against the rock. The handprints were likely created by the Eastern Shoshone between 1000 and 1800 AD. The constant motion of placing their hands on the soft sandstone carved deep impressions over time. Some local stories suggest that women would visit the site during childbirth, using the rock for support as they gave birth. These handprints, along with other carvings, provide a direct connection to the past. They tell stories of daily life, rituals, and even interactions with European settlers, as some figures show horses and warriors with swords. The site remains sacred to many Native Americans who feel a deep connection to the place. Located in a remote part of Wyoming, the White Mountain petroglyphs are not only a historical treasure, but also a spiritual one, offering insight into the beliefs and lifestyle of the region's ancient inhabitants. Number 10. Haunted Ghost Ship. The Point Reyes shipwreck sits on a sandbar in Tomales Bay, California, north of San Francisco. This ghostly ship has become a favorite spot for photographers and artists. Originally, the boat was brought ashore by a landowner who intended to restore it but never did. Over time, the ship began to decay, and when the land was taken over for wetlands restoration, there were plans to remove it. However, local photographers and visitors protested, and the boat was allowed to stay. The exact time the ship became beached is unclear, but many locals recall it appearing almost overnight as if emerging from the mist. The boat likely slipped its mooring during high tide and drifted onto the flats, where it settled in the mud. This area, known for its strong winds and fog, has claimed many boats over the years. The wreck's dramatic, weathered look against the foggy backdrop makes it a unique and mysterious sight. Today, there's a small sign and trail guiding visitors to the shipwreck. While it's tempting to explore, the wood is fragile and rotting, so it's not safe to climb aboard. As the elements continue to take their toll, the Point Reyes shipwreck slowly decays, but its eerie presence remains a fascinating piece of the California coast's history, drawing people who appreciate its haunting beauty. Number 9. Pacific football fish. A rare Pacific football fish was recently discovered washed up on an Oregon beach, making headlines due to its terrifying appearance. This fish, which typically lives thousands of feet deep in the ocean, is so rare that only about 30 specimens have been recorded in history, usually found at depths between 2,000 and 3,300 feet. The football fish is rarely seen by humans. One of the most fascinating features of this creature is its glowing lure on top of its head. This bioluminescent light helps the fish attract prey in the pitch-black depths. It's not just a simple glow, though. The lure can also reflect light, which is a very unusual feature in deep-sea creatures. The fish uses this light to lure in smaller fish or squid, which it then traps with its sharp teeth. What makes the football fish even more mysterious is its strange reproduction process. The females are much larger than the males, and the males actually live as parasites. Once a male finds a female, it fuses with her, losing its eyes and internal organs. The male survives by feeding off the female, providing only sperm in return. The reason these fish occasionally wash up on shore is still unknown, but each discovery gives scientists a rare opportunity to study them. Even though they live in extreme conditions, the football fish continues to surprise researchers with its odd features and behaviors, adding more pieces to the puzzle of deep-sea life. Number 8. Alien symbols. The Blythe intaglios are a set of large geoglyphs found in the Colorado Desert of California, first discovered by a pilot named George Palmer. These massive designs, created by ancient Native American tribes, can only be fully appreciated from the sky. The figures include human shapes, animals like snakes, and geometric patterns. The largest figure, a human with outstretched arms, measures 171 feet long. The exact purpose of these drawings is still unclear. Some believe they were made by the Mojave or Quechan tribes and may have had spiritual or ceremonial meanings. One idea is that the human figures represent a creator god linked to creation stories. The animal shapes, like the snake, could also be symbols in their beliefs. What makes the Blythe intaglios particularly mysterious is that the people who made them didn't have a way to see the designs from above. This raises the question, why create such large, intricate images if they couldn't see them in their entirety? The figures were made by scraping dark stones away to reveal the lighter soil underneath, creating sunken designs. The symbols remain an important piece of ancient Native American culture and a reminder of the creativity and beliefs of the people who lived in the desert long ago. Number 7. The Mystery Stone. Workers digging near Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire discovered a strange egg-shaped stone buried 6 feet deep. The stone, about the size of a goose egg, was made of quartzite, a type of rock not found locally. This raised many questions since no one could explain how it ended up there. The stone is marked with odd symbols: a human face, a teepee, an ear of corn, and various geometric shapes. There are 2 holes drilled through it, one at each end, using different-sized tools. The precision of the drilling suggests advanced technology, which doesn't match what was available to Native American tribes at the time. Some believe the carvings relate to Native American culture, but others think the stone could be linked to ancient cultures from distant lands, like the Celts or Inuit. When first discovered, the stone attracted attention and sparked many theories. Some thought it was an ancient Native American artifact, while others suggested it could be a thunderstone, a rock supposedly formed during lightning storms. Another theory claimed it might have been used in rituals or as a special birthstone for important leaders. Despite being studied for over a century, the true origin and purpose of the stone remain unknown. Today, it's displayed at the New Hampshire Historical Society, still puzzling archaeologists and historians. The Mystery Stone continues to be one of the most intriguing out-of-place artifacts in America. Number 6. Clovis Collection. An amazing discovery was made in Clovis, New Mexico. Archaeologist Edgar Howard uncovered ancient mammoth bones and stone tools, including sharp, lance-shaped spear points. These tools, now called Clovis points, are unique because of their distinct shape, with fluted grooves running from the base to the tip. Made from fine-grained stones like chert or obsidian, they were likely used to hunt large animals such as mammoths, mastodons, and bison. Clovis points were believed to be the first human-made tools in North America, used by people who lived over 13,000 years ago. These points appeared suddenly across much of North America, from Florida to Montana and even down to Venezuela. This quick spread led researchers to believe that Clovis culture was the first to dominate the continent. However, over time, evidence was found suggesting humans had arrived in the Americas before Clovis. Despite this, Clovis's points remain incredibly important in understanding early human history. They show how a specific tool-making culture spread quickly across diverse landscapes. What makes the Clovis points even more fascinating is that they were made for only 300 years before disappearing. This quick rise and fall could be linked to the extinction of large animals or changes in the environment. These tools give us valuable insights into the ancient people of North America, helping us understand their ways of life and how they adapted to their surroundings. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. This bizarre-looking creature washed up on a California beach and shocked the locals who hadn't seen anything like this before. It somewhat resembled a squid, but the tentacles seemed more like legs. Some people thought this was a new species of massive underwater centipede with no eyes. As the creature was dead, local authorities took the corpse for research, and since then, no one has heard about it. Was this just another underwater animal or something else the government is trying to hide from us? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Number 5. Fire of Montezuma Castle. In central Arizona, a mysterious village once stood, built into the cliffs. For years, archaeologists believed it was abandoned before a devastating fire destroyed it. But in the 1930s, a new discovery changed everything. Archaeologist Matthew Gubbard re-examined the site and found shocking evidence. The fire that burned the village occurred right before it was abandoned, not after. This suggested the village didn't just burn down, it was attacked. Guibard's research uncovered more evidence that supported stories told by local Native American tribes, like the Hopi and Apache. These tribes have long said their ancestors were driven out by violence and forced to flee when their homes were set on fire. Guibard discovered the remains of 4 people with skull fractures, cuts, and burn marks. These injuries told a brutal tale. The villagers were likely killed in an attack that set the whole village ablaze. This new evidence confirmed what local tribes had always said. The village wasn't abandoned peacefully. It was destroyed in a violent assault. Guebard's work helped solve a mystery that had puzzled archaeologists for decades. His findings show how important oral histories can be in understanding the past. The truth of what happened to this village was hidden for centuries, but thanks to modern research, we now know the real story. The fire, once thought to be an accident, was part of a violent event that led to the village's end. Number 4. Oldest known human footprints. In White Sands National Park, New Mexico, scientists have found the oldest human footprints in North America, estimated to be around 23,000 years old. These prints were discovered in the Tularosa Basin, a region with soft gypsum soil that helped preserve the footprints over thousands of years. Researchers found over 60 fossilized prints, and using advanced dating methods, including carbon dating of seeds, tree pollen, and quartz grains, they confirmed the age of the footprints. This discovery challenges the long-held belief that humans first arrived in the Americas around 16,000 years ago. Before this, most scientists thought humans crossed into North America via a land bridge from Siberia when the glaciers started melting. But these new findings suggest that people may have been here as early as 26,000 to 19,000 years ago, much earlier than expected. The footprints tell the story of ancient humans walking alongside extinct animals like mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant sloths. Some tracks show a woman and a toddler, with the child's footprints disappearing when carried. Other prints follow a sloth, showing the ancient hunter's movements. This discovery is important because it pushes back the timeline of human migration into the Americas and opens up new questions about how people moved across the continent. White Sands National Park is now recognized as a key site for understanding the early history of humans in the Americas, with many more footprints waiting to be uncovered and studied. Number 3. Extraordinary canoe. Archaeologist Tamara Thompson made an unexpected discovery while diving in Lake Mendota: a 3,000-year-old canoe. This canoe, made from a single piece of white oak and 14 feet long, was perfectly preserved at the bottom of the lake. The canoe is the oldest ever found in the Great Lakes region. Thompson, who had previously found a 1,200-year-old canoe nearby, was amazed by this new find. Carbon dating confirmed it dates back to around 1000 BC, making it a major historical breakthrough. The discovery is especially meaningful to the Ho-Chunk Nation, whose ancestors likely used these canoes. The recovery was done in collaboration with Native American tribes, and the canoe is now being carefully preserved. The process will take about 2 years, during which experts will freeze-dry the canoe to remove any water still inside. This is not the first ancient canoe found in Lake Mendota. In the past few years, divers have uncovered at least 11 canoes, ranging from 2,500 BC to 1,200 AD. These findings are shedding light on the lives of indigenous people in the area. The canoes were used for fishing, traveling, and trading. Researchers believe the canoes were intentionally kept in the water during winter to prevent them from warping. Now, as experts continue to explore, they wonder what other ancient discoveries might be hiding in the depths of the lake. Number 2. Bishop Castle. In the quiet hills of Colorado, Bishop Castle stands as a stunning testament to one man's vision. Jim Bishop, starting when he was just 15, spent over 60 years building this incredible stone castle. With no blueprints or plans, Jim used materials he found around him: stones from the mountains and timber from the forest. What began as a small cottage grew into a massive, multi-story castle with towers, staircases, and breathtaking views of the Colorado wilderness. Jim had no formal construction experience, but he was determined to create something special. Over the years, he worked alone, hauling rocks, mixing mortar, and building everything by hand. His dream grew larger each year. In the early 70s, friends began joking that it looked like a castle, and Jim decided to make it one. He kept building, even as others offered to help, but no one ever followed through. By the 80s, Jim added a fire-breathing dragon sculpture made from stainless steel, which now sits atop the castle. Now the castle also has stunning features like a grand ballroom, tall towers, and bridges with views that stretch for miles. Jim's dream was to make the castle free to visit, and it's still open to the public today. Bishop Castle is a true symbol of determination, showing what one man can accomplish with hard work and vision. Number 1. Spirits of Cliff Palace. Cliff Palace is an amazing site located in Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. It is the largest cliff dwelling in North America and was built over 750 years ago by the ancestral Pueblo people. These people used sandstone, mortar, and wooden beams to construct the palace, which has around 150 rooms. The structure was created during the Great Pueblo period. It is believed that Cliff Palace served as a social and ceremonial center for the people who lived there. The people of Cliff Palace were skilled in farming, hunting, and gathering. They grew crops like squash, corn, and beans, and used the rooms for both living and storing food. Some of the rooms were large, round, and called kivas. Kivas were used for ceremonies and rituals. The ancestral Puebloans used wooden ladders to climb up to their homes, which were built into the cliffs for protection and security. Cliff Palace was rediscovered by European explorers in 1888, but by then the building had already suffered damage from weather and exploration. Over the years, the site has been restored and remains open to visitors today. However, the palace is now threatened by climate change, which could cause further damage through freeze-thaw cycles and wildfires. Despite this, it remains an important cultural site for many Native American groups, including the Laguna Pueblo people. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned for more exciting ones.